Hello, this is Gio, and hey, it's daylight saving time again, and you know what that means? You have to move your clocks forward. And I have this little flip clock right next to my computer, and I figured it might be a good time to show you how to change a flip clock, and I'll show you that today. Okay, so many of you may not actually know what a flip clock is. Now, these were pretty popular in the 70s, the time I grew up. This is actually my dad's old flip clock that I really like. And this one is just a simple clock. Some of them had radios, tuners, and alarm clocks associated with them. But this is just the basic flip clock. And what a flip clock is, they sort of started replacing the traditional dial, the wheel clocks that you're used to seeing even today. But these kind of predate the digital displays that are very common today. And what they are is essentially you have an hour and a minutes wheel. Some of them actually had seconds; those were very rare. But the hour, and they have these little flaps. Sometimes they're made out of paper, but most of the time they're made of like a plastic. And they have all these little tiny little flaps that, as the main wheel kind of turns, will kind of change the actual time. So the flaps kind of flap down and you see new time. So the hour one goes from 1 to 12, sometimes 24 depending on the type of clock you're dealing with. And then the minutes go from 0 all the way to 60, and you just saw it change from 23 to 24 right there. And so these were very popular at the time. You still see some newer ones sold today. But they can be a little confusing about how to change them, especially if you're used to the modern day digital clocks. So again, this is just the basic clock. Some of them had the radio tuners and alarm clocks associated with it, but this is just a very basic one. And so you kind of look around and you just see the plug coming out. And in this particular model, the way you change it is right here on the bottom, if I can pull this up, and you just have a simple wheel. If you had let's say a radio tuner or stuff, you may have different wheels or different switches, but typically with these flip clocks, you change them with a wheel. And the other thing about flip clocks is that when you change them, they only typically go in one direction. So you kind of, you increase either the hour, increase the minutes. Some of them had two wheels, where you can actually change the hours independently of the minutes, but this one only has one. So as you turn it, you're changing the minutes, and then when you get to the 60 and flip to 0, it'll change the hours. So, and it only goes in one direction, so if you miss the minutes you want, you'll have to go all the way around at least 12 hours. So we'll try to avoid that. I'm going to look at my watch here. Let's see, it's actually it's 12:26, so this is a little slow. But so we'll just start turning this, and you'll see it start to change. And so you see the minute out, the minute changing. And so you just keep on going. And then we're going to go past 60. And you're actually seeing some of the flaps on the hour wheel change, and it's still 11. So there's multiple 11s here. That's probably how they adjusted the wheel. And then when we get to the 60, it'll change to 12 on the other side, and there you go. And we want to go to 27. So 27, ooh, perfect, there. If I would have gone to 28, I would have had to go all the way around. But that's basically how you do it. I just kind of move this wheel forward, and there you go. And hopefully it's good for another season until I have to change it back. Now when I have to change the time back, I'll have to go all the way around to back to 11. So I hope this video helped you out, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.